Hello out there, this is Marcel Waltz, the director of the upcoming movie Blood Feast, and you're listening to withoutyourhead.com.
Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal, and I'm joined by SADIE KATZ, currently Ishtar in Blood Feast. How are you doing?
What an intro is that? I love that. I'm great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm awesome. I'm fucking awesome.
Excellent.
I can say fucking, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay, good.
Yes, you can, yeah.
Good. Then I'll say fucking a lot. Good.
All right, excellent. I should have introduced you like that. We have fucking Ishtar on the line, SADIE KATZ.
Good.
Yeah. Who just got her hair done specifically for this interview, so everyone can hear how nice her hair is.
I know. I was sitting there and I thought it was pretty apropos that I was a little bit late to calling you because my head was being taken over by the dryer. It's odd that we're still under those big caps, and the girls put their head under those big dryer caps. It was weird.
Exactly.
1950s. Yeah. So we had the premiere last night for Blood Feast.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I would have been there. I was invited, but I'm in Massachusetts, so it was a little far for me to get to. But how did the premiere go?
It went great. It was very exciting. Entertainment Tonight was there, so that makes the cast members feel very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great to get people's feedback, and it was very odd. One of the scenes, there's a scene where one boob of mine is in a shot for I think it's the longest shot ever of just the movie's quirky, and there's one shot where I swear to God, you just see my right boob is in the shot for 15 minutes.
I know the scene well. It's my current screensaver on my computer here.
It's the most awkward thing, and I'm sitting next to my fiance, and I go has there ever been a shot where it's just one tit for so long? It's so bizarre. But no, I mean, it was really fun to watch with the audience and get their feedback, because the film's such a fun film. I mean, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it's like a bloodbath. But there's some style to it. A lot of people kept saying it was very beautiful. It was it's a very pretty film for chopping off body parts. It has some gloss to it.
Yeah, I think that adds to it. It makes it unusual, and I find it the movie humorous too, but at the same time, it's not over the top where it's tongue in cheek or silly or slapstick or anything. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not a horror. It's how do you describe the movie? It's not a horror comedy at all. And I guess I have been saying tongue in cheek, but it's not. Okay, here's the thing. It's not an American tongue in cheek movie.
Okay.
It's very European, which is kind of very rad about it. And some of the things don't exactly land in the film the way they should, but that's kind of the cool charm of it. And I was talking to somebody after the film, one of the reviewers, and I go, well, I think it's an Easter egg for fans who knew the original Blood Feast will understand that Marcel was really respectful to the original source material. So if you watch the original Blood Feast, it's really rad, because instead of completely taking it out of that world, he kind of followed that world and just glossed it up. And so, I mean, Herschel Gordon Lewis wanted to get you to the next chop scene. That's what he wanted to do. He did, and Marcel tried to, the director tried to sew everything together in a nice way, and in that way, it's kind of like an insider's film. If you're in the know, it makes it that you don't have to be in the know, but it makes it that much more enjoyable, which is rad.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I'm a huge fan of the original movie. I love Herschel Gordon Lewis films. And so when I heard about this, I was a little skeptical because I liked the first one so much. But I think they really nailed it. I think Robert Rusler is so cool as Fuad Ramsey. He's got the intense stare, just like Fuad in the original one, but it's different, and it totally works.
And he's such a. I mean, have you ever met Robert?
Yeah. What is really funny is a real quick story. In 2000, I knew Robert a little bit from the show, and then I met him in 2015 at Texas Frightmare, and he told me at the time I couldn't say anything on the show that he got the role as Fuad Ramsey's, and then he gave me the stare just like he does in the movie, and I was like, "You're gonna be perfect because it's exactly like Fuad Ramsey's."
And I mean, so that's the whole thing. Like, if you don't know anything about Blood Feast, like Blood Feast is so funny because Robert's so good as Fuad, and because like Robert's such an odd duck. I mean, he's a really good actor, and he's such an odd duck, and he has this modulation he gives throughout that's consistent.
Yeah.
And it's so odd and creepy because the way he delivers the lines, it's very like slow, and it's like that modulation, the way he does it, that adds this, like, it's disconcerting. Like, you're like, what is he doing? Like, why is he saying the lines like that? And it's so wonderful, and it's so Robert.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean, I have to say, Caroline and Robert really give a really wonderful acting performance. I mean, they're very, very good in the film. I mean, it's a really creepy performance by both of them. There are several times where you're watching it and you go, wow, that's pretty good. What they're doing is really nice work. It's very strange and surprising, and scenes where you're like, they're confronting each other. And I hadn't seen it for a while. And last night when I watched it, I went, that's some nice work there. I really enjoyed watching that scene.
Yeah.
And actors like to pick on other actors a lot, naturally. They like to go, well, but it was kind of fun to watch and like appreciate it. And, the poster is really awesome.
Definitely.
And, it's such a fun film for like horror fans to dig on. And now, because they can't get this whole motion picture association thing, they don't want to give an R rating.
Yeah.
They want to keep it an NC-17, which is kind of bullshit. I think it's like, that's kind of bullshit because they want to do that. And mostly because it's more of like an indie film. If it was like Saw or something, they would be like, oh no, it's fine. But because it's Blood Feast, they won't give us an R rating.
Yeah, I almost felt that was kind of a thing of the past where like the MPAA would really, like, on horror movies say you've got to cut so much out. It kind of seems like something from another era. You don't really hear about that very much anymore. And then when it came out about Blood Feast, I was really surprised.
Like, what is that even about? And what's funny is, I mean, I'm going, yes, there's a lot of blood in it. Yeah, there is. But I'm like, there's so many mainstream movies that are pretty disgusting and raunchy now. And, I mean, we don't have any graphic rape scenes in the film. And to me, I'm like, I don't know. There's other movies sometimes where I go, this is so much more where you know exactly what it's doing. I don't think this movie inspires anyone to kill. There's some movies where you go like, come on, there's movies with people with guns and stuff. This movie is so obviously it's fun-spirited. This is not a movie that drives anyone towards extreme violence at all. I mean, at all.
Yeah.
I would even beg to say that Wrong Turn was more violent in a certain way.
Sure.
I mean, this film is,
Because I watch, I don't even just watch horror movies, all movies, even a lot of stuff on TV is extremely violent now. I mean, Game of Thrones is very graphic.
American Horror Story.
Oh, yeah.
Having the sex with the guy in the ass. And like, I actually turned it off with the screw, what was the one, the hotel?
The hotel one? Yeah.
I was like, you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, the hotel. With Lady Gaga.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I mean, not that it's not wonderful and great, but I was like, well, it was like too much for me for the night
Uh-huh.
I was having. I mean, that to me, I'm like, you're telling me that that's okay, but this isn't. That I don't really understand ratings anyway. It's like my 16-year-old son can watch. I have to help him sneak in to get into movies.
Right.
He's 16 years old. He can drive this is what's crazy. He can drive a car.
Mm-hmm. But
We're giving these kids cars.
Uh-huh.
but they can't go watch an R-rated movie. So I'm letting them drive a dust vehicle and trusting his judgment that he cannot like go plow it into somebody. But we can't let them go watch like Freddy versus Jason. Are you kidding me? So crazy. And I'm not going to let them watch it. Are you out of your mind? What kind of mother would I be? That's crazy.
I'm glad to hear that because my mom always let me watch horror movies ever since I think I was like 6, but that's a different story. And I told her,
you know what happened? That's crazy. Well, you know what happened is like I was really strict with my son and for like a long time when he was 10, 9, and it wasn't he was really into Goosebumps. So always that's the gateway drug, Goosebumps.
Right.
And then he was going over to his friend's house watching South Park. But South Park is so sophisticated. And so that kind of was like, when he started watching really dirty stuff, like the cursing stuff. South Park was political messages. And then it's kind of hard when he started watching like R-rated stuff. I think the first thing he saw with nudity was the film I did, Nipples and Palm Trees, because that was my first theatrical. So, I mean, I made him cover his eyes in my part, but like, I'm not gonna have him not see the first film I'm doing in the theater. So then it was downhill from there.
No. Well, now it's all uphill because it's a Blood Feast.
Now it's uphill. He didn't get to come see Blood Feast last night.
No, he didn't.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
I know. He had to work.
Oh,
He's a working man.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
I know.
He's going to pay the bills. So, what was
your first one? What was your first horror film?
I've told this story, but it's a true story. I was 6 years old at the single mom. My brother's 9 years older, so she would take him to the drive-in, and instead of getting a babysitter, she would just take me along. And the one I clearly remember watching first, I was about 6, maybe even 5, was Night of the Living Dead in the drive-in, and I started to cry when the car blew up and the zombies were eating everybody, and my mom turned to me and said they're just having a barbecue. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then ever since then, not to be tough or anything, I've never been afraid of horror movies. Unless there's an evil doll. That always freaks me out. But everything else is totally fine.
You were too young. You were too young to see that movie. That's awesome. But at the drive-in, did she let you go in your pajamas?
I don't think so. But I do think I did sleep sometimes in the back because there'd be double features and... maybe one movie I'd be all right, but then I'd just get sleepy and go to sleep.
But that was the best sleep you've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
At the drive-in.
It definitely is. Back
under
to
the stars. And then you got to go and eat, go to the snack bar in your pajamas. And remember they had the swing in front of the screen?
Yes, I do. And I still remember they had really good pizza. At least that's how I remember it. Yeah. Maybe if I had it now, it was terrible. But at the time, I remember it was great.
It was the best.
Yeah.
See, kids are so sad now. Like, kids would go to the drive-in and they would be, texting during the movie.
Yeah.
Well, we have Hollywood Forever Cemetery here. That's where kids go.
Oh.
You go to the cemetery and you watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
And you can bring wine and cheese. That's what we have in LA.
Really? Wine and cheese at the drive-in.
Well, no, it's like a thing here. You go to Hollywood Forever Cemetery.
Okay.
So it's a cemetery in Hollywood. And everyone brings picnic baskets. And they screen old movies here.
Really? Now that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun. Like they do everything from horror films like The Exorcist, and it's very, very crowded. And then people bring like, their picnic baskets, and it normally has like wine, and everyone brings all kinds of cheese spreads and everything. It's amazing.
Oh, I'll have to remember that next time I'm in Hollywood. I was there a few years ago, but it's been a while.
Oh, it's a big treat, and everyone gets very, very quiet because you have to really listen. But there's a couple hundred people there, and it's on the weekends throughout the summer. Nice.
That sounds awesome.
Make sure you do it. It's like big movie fans. They do The Shining, all kinds of great films.
Yeah, we have some. It's not outside a graveyard, but here in Boston they have midnight movies on the weekend at the Brattle, and it's a lot of fun to. In Halloween they have a 12-hour marathon from midnight to noon, and then speaking of pajamas, my co-host partner on the show, Annabelle Lecter, and I went in our pajamas in the last one because 12 hours, you kind of pick a movie you don't like too good, and you take a nap during it.
Yeah, of course. You ever host it? You gotta host it. Like a live podcast. You have to host it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, we should do that. That'd be sweet. Be 12 hours long. Yeah.
Yeah, like do a live 12-hour podcast.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
That would be cool. Maybe we'll do it this year.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll bring that up to her. Then I would be for it. I don't know if people. I'm sure people would like to listen to it, except for when we sleep. We'll take a break, play some music or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you could play like snoring. Snoring sound. It'd be perfect.
I think so. I like this idea a lot. And then people could play at home. They could queue up the movies we're watching, and it'll be just like they're there.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
It's like a commentary track.
Like a full comic book convention or something.
Yeah.
Hey, I just came back from Comic-Con.
Really? So how was that?
Well, it was my very first time going to Comic-Con, and I was signing autographs for 2 days in the morning, and I brought my fiancé Nick with me, the Brit, and he's British, so I call him the Brit, right. But we had never been before, and have you ever been?
No, I've never been to a Comic-Con.
Okay, walking up, it's bigger than you could ever imagine. It's like Disneyland on steroids. It's humongous. It's, I don't know how to describe it because the actual convention center is humongous, but it spills out onto the streets of San Diego. So it's literally like Disneyland, and like the front part of Main Street is San Diego. So it just goes on and on and on. And there's 500,000 people there. So it's mind-boggling. It's kind of like in the cartoons when your jaw hits the floor and your eyes bug out.
Right.
It's exactly what it's like. You just kind of stop what you're doing and you go, oh, Comic-Con. It's a big fucking deal. And I mean, it's funny. I kind of thought more people would be dressed up because on the internet they make cosplay into like a big deal, like everyone's dressed up. But that's only because you notice they're always interviewing the cosplayers,
right?
Because so they show that a lot, but most people aren't dressed up. So it's not like if you show up at Comic-Con you're left out if you don't dress up. That's not really like maybe 5% of people are dressed up.
Yeah.
It's not that many people. So it's kind of a novelty when someone's dressed up, which I didn't expect. But it's just huge. And it's mostly buying a lot of shit and panels. But it's really kind of impressive and cool to see because all the panels are just gigantic and big and done really, really well. So if you're a fan of anything, you're going to get excited about something. If you like Stranger Things, you're going to go, oh my God, this is Stranger Things. And it's really cool. And so no matter what you're into, you're going to see something really cool. We went to the sci-fi party the first night that we were there on like the Thursday night, and they had the coolest cover band I've ever seen that played every 80s song. That was so fun. And the actual party itself just had like cool, creative stuff. Like they had cotton candy on a glow stick that was like going around. So just like attention to detail was really cool.
Yeah.
There was like another party on like the IMDb yacht was really cool. Another party for Crash, the TV show that looked literally like the TV soundstage was right there. So, I mean, it's definitely worth checking out because you just feel part of something really big. By day 3, I was like, I gotta get out of here because I just get overwhelmed. Do you know the game Cards Against Humanity?
Yes, they played it recently for the first time in Texas.
How fun is that game?
It was amazing. I was going in, I was like, no, we had a great time. We played it like, we were at a convention, me, Annabelle, and some people listened to the show, and we played it, we started playing it, and we played it like all night till like 4 a.m.
Right? It's so fun. Well, they were there. So they have a booth that's like the size of, it's like 4 booths together, it's a massive booth. So it's like stuff like that you get excited. You go, oh, I didn't know they would have a booth here. It's in the middle of like this convention center that goes on and on, like 20 football fields, big, and they have a booth. And they have like every card booster pack, and it's set up so cool. So like, it's everything from like TV shows you love to Cards Against Humanity to book authors that write your favorite comic book to like your voice, like the person who voiced your favorite cartoon from the 80s that has a booth. I mean, it's sort of just crazy to a Hello Kitty booth that makes, I don't know, backpacks. It's just all over the place. And I got like booster packs for my Cards Against Humanity, which to me, cool. I geeked out over because I love that game. And I was like, oh, I've been sick of that game. And now I have like all these, like I bought the girl booster period pack for Cards Against Humanity that came in Kotex. I'm like, you guys are assholes. And they go, we know you're an asshole too, and we hate your business. And I go, that's why I love you. So, I mean, it's sort of like got something for everyone, even if you don't like comic books at all. It's not that much into horror stuff, but,
Yeah. Sounds like a good time, especially if, like I said, at least go once for like the whole spectacle of everything.
Yeah, it's not like next year that I would be like, oh my God, I have to go.
Right.
But I would say to almost anyone, I'd be like, you should sort of go. It's like, it's something that you should definitely see, just because when other people say about Comic-Con, so you could like drop the Comic-Con card. Like, oh yeah, I've been to Comic-Con. I know all about it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, because I totally don't feel cool now because I've not been to one. So I've got to go. Yeah, I feel totally left out.
Yeah, like I went to Coachella because like I have to be able to say, because I'm one of those people like, oh yeah, I've been to Coachella. Now the thing is, I've never been to Burning Man, and if I don't go to Burning Man, like someone has to go and like hit me over the head and be like, you never. Not that I have a cool card, but I think I have a cool card. Someone is going to take away my fake cool card that I believe I have and say, like, you don't get this anymore.
Have you been to the Magic Castle in Hollywood?
I am such a Magic Castle person, and I've had 2 birthday parties there.
Oh, very cool.
I'm a huge knucklehead, and I'm friends with a couple of magicians.
Nice.
My friend Glenn Farrington. Are you into the Magic Castle?
I have. Annabelle and I went the last time, it was like 3 years we were out there. And at the time, I didn't realize what a big deal it was. And afterwards, I found out like that, it's very hard to get into. And we were lucky enough to be invited. And it was a great time. And I got to be the assistant for the magician in the
How cool is that?
It was a lot of fun.
And people you're right. Sometimes people go like, oh, that's cool because they think like magic. And then you never, ever take someone there who doesn't go, this is literally the coolest spot in LA. I mean, and it's honestly, it's filled with the most talented people in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, fuck Tom Cruise. Like, these magicians are really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Tom Cruise. Like, I mean, they're really skilled. They blow your mind. Mm-hmm. I've been there so many times, and every single time I'm like, wow, how did that trick blew my mind. It's really, I love magic so much. Mm-hmm. I haven't been to Club 33 at Disneyland, and I used to work there, and I always really grudge people who've gone there because I really, really, really want to go so badly. It's on my list.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you can make it. I'm sure you can make it. I've not been to the. I haven't been to Disney.
No,
since
it's
I
like
was
this
16.
thing. It's that private club in Disneyland, and it's really hard to get into.
Oh, see, I didn't even know what it was.
I hate. I hate. There's this restaurant in Disneyland that you can only get into as a member, and it's really super difficult to get into.
No, I didn't even know about this.
Oh, Google it.
I'm going
to. Google it. It's very difficult to get into. It's the same thing as a Magic Castle, but even more intense. There's also a special hotel room inside the park that's very difficult to stay in.
Oh, really?
I should do a documentary about like private clubs and private things that are hard to get into and how to crash my way into them. That's interesting.
I like that. That's great. Speaking of I saw you have a documentary. The Bill Murray experience. I don't know if it's a documentary, but the Bill Murray experience.
Yeah, it's the Bill Murray experience. I don't know if we're going to drop the but Gravitas just picked it up and it's coming out in December.
Oh, sweet.
In time for Murray Christmas. Yeah, but it's about my quest to have a Bill Murray experience. Mm-hmm. Kind of a thing I have. Like, I have this thing that I hate. I'm not somebody who necessarily wants to belong to a club. I'm like Groucho Marx. I don't want to belong to any club that would have me as a member. But I really, really don't like things like, everybody wanted to have everybody was having these Bill Murray experiences. And it made me really jealous, like intensely jealous of how come I don't have a Bill Murray story? So I did a documentary about pursuing my very own Bill Murray story.
So you had to one-up everybody and actually film it and make it into a documentary.
Of course, we live in LA, so at first there was this real big debate. I was like, well, is it gonna be like genuine? Is it gonna feel genuine if I'm filming? Like trying to meet Bill Murray, and then everyone's like, "What are you talking about? This is LA." Like, no one even questions why you're filming it, because everyone films everything, which is so weird that we live in that kind of a world. But it's true, we do. Like, no one questions like why you're filming something, which is kind of gross. But it's kind of true.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's the one thing. Even last night when we were doing the Blood Feast premiere, is like there's a certain point where I'm like, gosh, do we have to keep taking pictures? But like, that's why you do premieres now. Is like everyone has to take pictures, and then you have to do live Instagram feeds, and sometimes I'm like, great, I can't have a cigarette and I have to watch how much I drink because we have to take fucking pictures. But that's part of our job to do that, because people want pictures. But, then you can't have like a drink in your hand or cigarettes. And so you kind of can't totally enjoy the event.
Then everybody be like, what's up with SADIE KATZ? She's a lot. Yeah. She's gonna. What is your drink of choice, by the way?
Well, probably you could tell from my voice is whiskey. I really like red wine, but it saves your teeth. Whiskey is lighter on the hips. I don't know. Probably I like everything, but I do like Maker's Mark on the rocks with the splash of water.
That sounds good. Old fashioned.
Yeah. What's yours? What are you?
I like whiskey too. Old fashioned's good. Really, just a whiskey on the rocks is, like you said, is good. That's a fine drink.
Oh, we're kindred spirits.
Yes, and Maker's Mark is that's one of the better ones. I don't
Yeah, well,
remember.
everyone makes fun of me about Maker's Mark and says that's not as high end as I think, but it's like what I can remember.
Mm-hmm. It tastes good.
It tastes well, and I don't get too, like, there's not really a hangover, and you know what it is? I tend to sip it, where if I have red wine, I'll have like 3 glasses of red wine and don't even realize it. Maker's Mark, I kind of am more aware of, like, oh, I just had 2 Maker's Mark. I should probably slow down, because it forces you to sip it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's funny you mentioned the voice, because if I listen to shows, because I've been doing it for 12 years, the show for 12 years. If I listen to the early shows, I actually didn't drink at all then, and I was like, man, I sound like a little kid. And then I was like, oh, I think the whiskeys really helped the voice.
Am I not? Is that? Well, I always have had a scratchy voice. And people have always said I sound like I smoke and drink whiskey, and I'm probably fulfilling that. Like, so has that like been implanted into my head? Am I becoming what people say I am? Or like, was that my fate, or have I become that? Or I don't know.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. Mm-hmm.
I know. I know. And sometimes it like makes me feel ashamed, because I'll like have a cigarette and a whiskey, and then I feel like people are judging me. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, well, fuck them, because it's really yummy together. Fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Yeah.
But
I also like a whiskey sour. Is good.
What is that? What is in a whiskey sour?
Whiskey sour, it's usually whiskey and sour mix, but a real one, which is a little strange. They also put raw egg white in it, but that's very rare.
Oh, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. That sounds disgusting.
It does, yeah.
Is it really good?
Yeah, it is very good. It's just very good. A friend of mine, that's what they drink. Lawrence Harvey from Human Centipede 2. And so I was like, well, I got to try that. So then I started drinking after I saw him drinking it.
Oh, my God. What did he have to say about filming Human Centipede 2?
Oh, well, I've...
How did they do the ass-to-mouth stuff? Did they have to really bend down there and do that?
I was going to be in Human Centipede 3. I was going to be pretty much an extra, but... you had to be from L.A., and I'm from Massachusetts. And afterwards, people told me you should have just lied and said you were from L.A. But,
well, I mean, when you do it, did they have to, like, kind of, like, hold on? Or, like...
Yeah, I think they actually have...
over like that?
Yeah, because when I've talked to pretty much the whole cast, because I'm a huge Centipede fan, they had a little thing, like, on the back of the other actors that, like, I think you kind of bit onto. So you didn't move, so it brings, like, realism to it.
Did we talk about the fact that I did a movie so the first movie I did that I already said, Nipples and Palm Trees, was with, how do I say his name, Aki?
Oh, really? Akihiro? Yeah.
Okay, so
good friends with
here's like a crazy story, since you're a fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're doing Nipples and Palm Trees. He had just come back from filming Human Centipede. But here's the really weird thing about it. This is so weird. He comes back from filming this movie. This is before anyone even knew it was Human Centipede, right? Mm-hmm. And he's just like, he's playing like a funny character in this comedy, this sex romp comedy. Uh-huh. And he says, I just did this crazy movie. He's like talking to us. He goes, I just did this fucking really crazy movie where, like, it's this ass-to-mouth movie, and my parents are going to be really pissed because they're, like, traditional. Uh-huh. And we're making fun of him. Mm-hmm. So we're like, yeah, he just did this ass-to-mouth thing. And he's kind of, like, confiding in the cast while we're filming this movie. And he was very, very, very funny in our film. And he was like, everyone was like, this guy is a riot. So we're like, why would you even do that horror film? What a stupid fucking idea. No joke. This is exactly what went down. I swear on this. So we're like, why would you even do that? So we kept making fun of him, like, yeah, it was, hey, and now our movie wasn't called Nipples and Palm Trees at the time. It was called like Day in the Life or something. Okay. So that's why we could make fun of him. So we're like, why the fuck would you do a movie? They're like, Ask the Mouse. So we kept calling him like, hey, Ask the Mouse guy, Ask the Mouse guy. So not even, so we wrap our film. We don't know we're going to call it Nipples and Palm Trees. We wrap our film, which is kind of a more or less a love story. And not even 3 months later, his film, they finished editing it really, really fast. Maybe it was 6 months later. Really, really fast. And I'm listening to K-Rock, and this movie is fucking all over everywhere. And I hear them on K-Rock call it the Ask the Mouse film. I pull over on like Kevin and Bean or something. I pull over and I realize he's on the fucking radio. And I call up my cast member, Matt, who's in it, and go, you're never gonna, and he goes, I already know, it's all over. It literally, he exploded. I was completely dumbfounded, could not believe it. And I mean, that film exploded. And that was like the first time I had done, that was the first time I had a film that was like, I was in, that was a feature, but that was the first person I knew that I'd been in a film with that like exploded in a weird way. You know, it was very, very crazy. So then all of a sudden we were like, put him on the, we got to put his name on the poster. We got to, you know, how do we explain this? How do we,
right. From the Human Centipede, Akihiro Katamura. When I mentioned being out in LA a few years ago, it was actually for the Human Centipede 3 premiere at the Chinese theater there. And we saw Aki after the movie, and we're like, what did you think of the movie? And he just looked at us like he's in shock, and he just went, crazy movie, man. Crazy movie.
I mean, he was making fun of the movie he was in because why wouldn't you? You just film this movie and you're like, what? Why? Like, this is the worst idea ever. And he was just doing the same movie like I had done where we were working on deferred pay. I actually, you know, I may have got, I don't even know, because I did nudity in the movie, so it may have been my first paid gig for like $100 a day or something. I mean, if that, I can't, so I don't even know if he got paid on, I don't want to speak for him, but he may have, you know, you're just getting anything. He just started out. You get Human Centipede. I mean, and I don't know how, like, I mean, for a long time after that, we were trying to think of like equally as disgusting ideas. Like, oh, why can't we think of something like but, I mean, it was genius in that. And now they have like, what, 6 of them?
3 of them.
Oh, is there only 3?
Yeah.
Was the last one the prison one where they did like 100 guys?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna be. I was gonna be in the 100 person Centipede.
What? Now, what draws you to Human Centipede?
You know, honestly, when I heard the idea, I actually thought like this sounds just awful, but I had to watch it for the show, and I love the first one. It's I don't know if you've ever seen him, but Dieter Laser, who plays Dr. Hyder, I just thought was so great as like the mad scientist. And so it was much better than I expected. It's really not even graphic, the first movie. It's kind of more psychological, you know, you're thinking how horrible this would be. And then the second one's very graphic. I find the second one very funny. I think, and it's interesting because it's self-referential to the first movie, and the villain is like he loves the first movie and wants to reenact it. So I think it's a very, you know, it's a unique take on a horror movie. I can't say I'm a fan of the third one though. I think it's nearly unwatchable. It's very, I can't say I'm a fan, but I do like the first 2.
Well, I like my favorite kind of films like that. I love films like these are like my popcorn favorite horror films. Like, Would You Rather? I love like the rich guy who gets like, they've made these films so much. The rich guy who hosts a dinner party and like the poor people, and he brings them in, and then he makes them, to like chop off each other's hands or do something ridiculous. I love those kind of films.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't done one of those, but I really want to.
Yeah.
Or like the company that brings people in and there's some kind of moral dilemma, or people in an elevator.
Mm-hmm.
I love those kind of films. Those are like my kind of films that like it's a Sunday afternoon and I'm going to watch a horror film. I love those kind of films.
Yeah. What's funny is I mentioned
people signing some kind of contract for a rich person,
yeah,
and they're going to figure out who's going to do what.
I like. Well, I mentioned Annabelle earlier, who's my partner on the show and also my friend. The how we became friends was through the Human Centipede. Was she did a painting of Dr. Hyder on Facebook, and I had just interviewed him on my show. And we weren't even friends yet on Facebook. I just saw the picture, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." I just interviewed him, and then we started to talk and found out we lived fairly close to each other, and we became friends through the Human Centipede.
That's what's so crazy about horror films in particular. I think horror and sci-fi is like, who knows what it is about like certain. I mean, I kind of trip out on Instagram when I'll like hashtag wrong turn. like I see people from all over the world that like post that they're having a wrong turn movie night.
Really?
And like,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what you can do, hashtag Human Centipede on Instagram, and you'll find other people that like that's their favorite horror film. Like that particular film is their favorite horror film.
Yeah, we know many people that it is. It's their favorite. We do video reviews, and our rating system is PEDS. We give it 1 to 5 PEDS. The Human Centipede. They're lined up. That's
oh my God. That's making me want to watch it again.
It's good. I love both the villains, but there's something about Dr. Hyder in the first one. I love it when he kisses his own reflection after he makes the Human Centipede. I think it's my favorite scene.
Because it's all about the villains. Villains are awesome. Villains. I mean, I like a good villain.
I do too.
I something. Who was signing across from me at Comic-Con was oh God, what's his face from oh gosh, I hate myself right now. From Saw.
Oh, Tobin Bell?
Yeah.
Jigsaw?
Yeah.
Jigsaw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was signing posters for like $75 each. And people were standing in line. He was chewing gum, and he was kind of like a badass.
Mm-hmm.
And not, I don't know if he was that reverential to his fans, but like maybe that made him cooler. It was a pretty cool poster, but he was like right across from me. He had a couple hundred people lined up, and he was giving them a cool poster and signed it, and they were off on their way. He signed for like an hour and a half and split.
Well,
and he's a pretty cool villain.
Oh yeah, definitely. Who would your favorite villain? Who would your favorite villain be?
Freddy Krueger's pretty rad.
He is pretty cool.
I mean, when I was a kid, I don't know if he's my favorite, but when I was a kid, he scared the shit out of me. I mean, I was really, really scared of him. I mean, really, really frightened. A lot. So I would say he legitimately scared me when I was younger. And Donald Trump, he terrified me.
Yeah, well, dude, that scares you in reality.
Okay, I have to say that.
You're welcome here. That's fine.
He's actually not my favorite villain because he's kind of fun. his own way. And Jack Nicholson he's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. He's great as the Joker. He's great in The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
He's great because he's got all these. I know a lot of people will disagree because they like Heath Ledger, but I think he's pretty great in The Shining too.
Mm-hmm.
He's like nuanced and sexy and I should say a female, huh?
Well,
I mean,
sometimes it's.
I should have a female.
Yeah, I know. Annabelle always says there's not enough, female villains that are cool on their own and that aren't just based around being like sexy or something.
Well, Glenn Close is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's pretty good. She's pretty wonderful. I think she's something special
Definitely.
in Fatal Attraction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think. See, I find women scariest when they're real people.
Mm-hmm.
And really going after you because they're losing their shit.
Yeah, like in Misery, that's a good villain too.
Yeah, Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
But see that to me is women are capable of really bad shit. Charlize Theron in Monster.
That's a great one.
That's a guy. Yeah. I mean, she's great because women, but that's scary to me of like a chick when you go, oh boy. Mm-hmm. But I really think Glenn Close is something great. And oh, geez. I have a thing for Poison Ivy too. But I don't know if you count that as a villain, but mm-hmm. I like women when they're or Rose McGowan is pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I find her to be.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Pretty good, or it's funny. I feel like we haven't had like I've been wanting to work on something where we have like a good
with like an iconic Jason. Yeah, because if you think of the iconic horror characters, they're all men. And so there isn't really, like you said, like even like in the Universal movies, people will mention Bride of Frankenstein, and really the character really doesn't do anything in the movie. She looks very cool, but like in the movie itself, she doesn't necessarily do much. She's only in it a couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean when we were at Scorned for Anna McCord played that, and she did a really good job of kind of losing her cookies. The idea was to have her be like a younger Kathy Bates. Mm-hmm. I kind of get off on the idea of like, if you ever see and there's a joke to this, but it's funny, but if you ever see a girl with fucking really bad PMS and who isn't stopped, and, a chick who thinks that you cheated on her, she's mm-hmm. capable of some real crazy stuff. Mm-hmm. A woman who just, hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned.
Yeah.
I think that there's nothing more terrifying. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's different than a man because a woman comes from like a whole other subset of rage. Mm-hmm. It's just, I think, it's funny that I believe that the more that we give women power, I wouldn't be surprised in the next 20 years that we start seeing women serial killers and stuff pop up, especially the more people start like going after fame and everything. Mm-hmm. Because our men are getting softer and our women are getting more and more assertive. Mm-hmm. So, and you're hearing about all these crazy ass stories of like women doing really, kind of twisted stuff. Mm-hmm. The girl who convinced her, that young girl who convinced her boyfriend to like kill himself and stay in the car.
Yeah, right. And she's actually found guilty.
She was found guilty, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then like plotting it out. So I think what happens with women is whenever you watch these shows like Snapped and everything, they were plotting to kill their husbands of 20 years for like $10,000. And it's like multiple layers. $10,000 after taxes and everything, it's like $5,000.
Right.
And they've got it planned for. They've got all sorts of plans, and then they show up at the funeral and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. I trust men on a certain level with things over an evil woman any day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I love me some women, but when women go evil, they go evil. Yeah. On that note,
I know you said 20 minutes. It's been a lot longer. But before we wrap it up, I want to know. Speaking of blood feast, that's a good thing. Is when you were first in the Ishtar costume, what was it like when you saw yourself for the first time dressed as Ishtar with everything?
Well, with my wardrobe,
Mm-hmm.
Which was nothing. Fabulous Marcel. I land in Germany, and he says, "Are you ready to see your wardrobe?" And I say, "Okay." It's a very interesting thing when you film out of the country,
Mm-hmm.
because, especially with everyone speaking German, because I had no idea what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very intimidated by everyone calling me goddess. Which is both fucking awesome and like, okay. And so I get there, and it's just like all this jewelry, a big long black wig, and like this mesh bikini thing. And I'm like, that's great. I said, so where is it? And Marcel's like, this is it. This is it. And I go, well, where? Like, this is nothing, Marcel. There's nothing here. And he starts laughing because I'm like fucking nude practically. And I'm like, what? I go, I'm not going to have any clothes on? Like, what? He's like, oh, no, you're going to look great. You're going to look great. So, what really actually made me feel great, after I put some nylons on and some nice lighting, and the wig covered my boobs mostly, was the eye makeup was really wonderful and Egyptian, and it's really cool. And I mean, the idea, as you've seen in the film, is not that I'm like the original, it's a statue coming to life, but that would be ridiculous to do in 2017. So, I don't want to give it away because it's kind of a fun discovery, but Robert's losing his freaking mind. And so it's kind of up to the audience interpretation, but I'm sort of become his id state thing. So it's kind of a fun, creepy thing. I don't get to have the long monologues that as an actor I'd love to have in this, but I got to do a lot of fun, flirty things with the audience. It's kind of fun. But when I got to look in the mirror and see this great makeup and play with these ideas, it was really fun to be that like iconic character. I mean, I'm kind of lucky that after doing Wrong Turn and being, getting to be Sally Hilliker, I mean, that was like a big thing to like be part of like that iconic, get to join that iconic trio and get to play, a villain. Which, speaking of villains, and then get to come into Blood Feast and play another iconic character. Like, it's a big deal. You go like, wow, I'm getting to play a really iconic character in the line of horror. So, and I didn't have to blow anyone to get the part. That's that's pretty nice. I get to keep playing these really evil gods of sex and power and, there's something, it does get you a little, it's pretty exciting. You get to kind of endow some of that power. And, I'm like, I get to play these two really big, iconic horror villains that are a big fucking deal. I mean, playing Goddess Ishtar is a big deal. And, it's a little feather in my cap that I felt very honored to get to do. That's a big deal for me. I'm really grateful for that.
How did you get involved? Did you know Marcel before the movie, or did he?
Marcel had seen, he was at home with his maid and was watching Long Term 6 and said, that's Goddess Ishtar. And so he got in touch with my reps and, at first I was and said, hey, we want you for Goddess Ishtar for Blood Feast. And sometimes when I actually was the first person cast in Blood Feast, and there was some talk of different actors playing other roles. And sometimes when you get contacted and things are worked out like that, I'm very skeptical. I'm like, yeah, sure, great, Germany, Paris, yeah. And I just kind of wait for things to happen and don't get too excited. And, the original role, my character had all these long monologues and everything. And it just didn't make a lot of sense I just felt like maybe she should not say those things. It felt like I should more not be a literal, there was a lot of discussion of how Goddess Ishtar should actually appear to Robert's character, Fuad, because I was very afraid of her just being too campy, because they are really the ones. She has to be sort of the motivating thing, but I think in a modern version, in the original version, she was motivating in a different way. In this version, it really has to be Fuad going a little nutty and thinking she's a motivating version. And then, if we come back in a part 2, we can explore that more and things like that. But that has to be kind of a modern day twist, or else it becomes a little bit too silly, and you have to do some of it has to pay respect that I'm not an actual statue coming to life.
Right.
Which the first one was in the 50s, they could put up with shit like that. In the modern day times, there was some talk on whether or not we wanted to have me like pose as a statue. And so, I mean, we have to kind of know that Fuad's off his rocker, and that makes the audience have fun and go with it more.
I agree. I really liked it.
It keeps it from being campy.
Were you familiar with the original Blood Feast?
Yeah, I watched it a few times and had some fun with it.
So,
I mean, we couldn't do too much with that. That was the main thing. We had to really. They did different things with Goddess Ishtar that we weren't necessarily going to do, because that was the difference in the 50s of what they could do, what they could get away with in the 50s, which we couldn't really do now. But I mean, there was two ways they could have done it. They could have had Goddess Ishtar be like this really crazy demon screaming and everything, and then I think you might have lost completely the first version. So it was kind of a happy middle. I mean, they could have CGI'd the whole thing and had it been this demon, which I think then it would have turned into the Mummy, which wouldn't have been fun at all.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, the in-between, it's like, I think Marcel did a really good job of doing a happy medium. So the audience can still wonder what's going on with him. And so we kind of dance and play with it. And, you know, there's still some questions, even for me, of where do we go with it? And, you know, who is Goddess Ishtar really? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of fun. Yeah. And it really was a smart choice because everyone hated the new Mummy. Uh-huh. I mean, I hate CGI. I hate CGI. Mm. I hate it. So, you know, somebody asked me like, oh, are they going to have you be CGI and get like really scary? And I said, no, because that's never scary.
No, you can totally tell it's not there. And even like, I think even bad like practical effects from older movies is fun, but bad CGI is just terrible. And even really good CG, I think there's not the weight there, and you can tell it's not really there, and it always takes me out of it.
I don't know why. I'll tell you, I even have. I mean, some people will disagree. I have a hard time. I don't like the new Star Wars because I feel like I'm watching a cartoon instantly. I love the old Star Wars. I'm down with them. I love them. It's like the difference of I'm a never-ending story kind of person. If I watch a ghost movie, it's kind of why I would rather watch an indie ghost film than watch something that's like out there new. I'm like, God, why can't you guys just show me something in a sheet? Why is it a CGI sheet? I don't get it. Like, I want to actually feel something there. It pulls me out so much. Yeah. Well, so
when you mentioned,
I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, because when you mentioned Freddy Krueger, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, when he comes through the wall, and I know it's done real easy with latex, whatever, but it looks awesome, and it's creepy and stuff. And then the new one where it's totally CG coming through the wall, it looks horrible.
It does, and I don't get it because there's some. I mean, all the bed scenes, all that stuff, fucking terrifying, terrifying. And if you think of even like, just use fantasy references, Neverending Story's got to be one of the best films ever made. And you watch other films, like fantasy kids films, and I just never think they hold up. You just never do. And I hope for the new It. I really, really sincerely hope that they do it without doing special effects and CGI, that they look like I hope it's good. I just, because the original It is one of my favorite miniseries. Oh my God. My son and I are like so excited, and I am so scared to watch the movie. And so, hey, speaking of, you said you don't like doll films. We have a new one coming out that looks good.
What's that one?
The one with the box.
Is it Wish Upon?
Did you see it? Yes. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't, but I've heard good things about it. And
it looks so good. It's the Annabelle. Is that an Annabelle Lee sequel?
I think that's a different movie, Annabelle.
Oh, it is. Oh, Annabelle. Yeah. Like your assistant or your partner.
Oh, Annabelle Lecter. Annabelle Lecter, yeah.
Annabelle Lecter. Well, I can't wait to see the Wish Upon. It looks like a good one. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to see that
my
too.
son always promises he's going to see these things with me, and then he goes with his friends.
No, well, that's not very nice.
I know. Yeah. So Blood Feast is supposed to come out once the Motion Picture Association. I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep fighting for our R rating, and then if we don't get it the way we want, they're going to actually, it's kind of working in our favor because some theaters are saying they're going to show the unrated version. And we're not just going to be in Regency theaters anymore, and we're going to come out in the second week in August nationwide in all different theaters.
Yeah.
The ones that will do it unrated.
That's really cool, and I'm glad it's going to theatrical release because it's fun to watch a movie on your computer or TV on video on demand or whatever. But to see it on the big screen, the way it's meant to be seen, is a totally different experience.
Yeah, in this movie, I think it's actually kind of fun to see in an audience. It's one of those movies like you want to see with an audience.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of begs to. It's like you want to scream out loud and go like, "Oh God!" And, you know, that kind of film. And it's. I mean, I don't say that with all films, but this one's kind of like fun to gross out, and you know, it's pretty hairy. There's some, and I have to tell you, it has the best ending of any like film I've seen for a while in this genre. The ending is so fun. I mean, it's leading up to the blood feast.
Yes.
And it's got a rewarding ending, and I think that's kind of fun for the audience to discover together. I mean, we all know it's coming to the blood feast. There's no spoiler alert. It's what we're here to see.
Yeah,
So I think it's fun.
I really enjoyed the movie. I had Marcel on 2 years ago when he first announced it, and he sent me the work copy last year, so it might actually be a little different than the one that's finished, but I assume it's very similar. And I'm a huge fan of Herschel Gordon-Lewis films, so going in, I was a little... but I really enjoyed it a lot, not just because you're here. I thought it was an awesome movie. And the gore itself looks great.
Yeah, they did such a good job with the gore, and it was disgusting on set. It was so gross. I was like... watching it, I was like, oh my God, last night. I was like, oh, you know, and we started off with the same disclaimer that they started the original, and, you know, so they should give barf bags out at the beginning, like the original film. So here's the interesting thing. The guy who owns Hanover Films bought the first Blood Feast at the very beginning of his career.
Oh, really?
And it outsold every film that was out for that opening weekend that was out in the market. And he is still in films and owns Hanover Films, and that's why he bought Blood Feast and wants to give it a theatrical.
Oh, that's an awesome story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like one of the first films that, you know, he bought when he was a kid in his life. Now he's an older man.
Yeah.
And he said, I forgot what films were out, but like they were, you know, films out in the theaters, and Blood Feast they thought was going to, you know, be this nothing film, and it ended up conquering the box office.
Yeah.
So that's why Hanover Films heard about Blood Feast being distributed, and this guy was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, very cool.
I know. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So everyone should go check it out. And how can they find you online?
Please go on my Instagram at SADIE KATZ. So Instagram, SADIE and my Twitter, Sadie_Katz. And if you can squeeze them in on my Facebook, Facebook.com/SADIE KATZ, but I don't update it as much as I should, so please Instagram and Twitter.
Very cool.
That's it.
Yeah, and I know it's I think we're right about at 20 minutes here, so but it was very fun talking to you.
Wonderful. Okay, a big kiss to you. Thank you so much for having me on again, and I can't wait to catch up next time.
All right, excellent. You're always welcome back.
Oh, thank you, honey. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good night, whatever you're doing. So.
I'm going to see Ingrid Goes West and give them questions and answers.
Oh, all right. Well, have a good time.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Have a good one.
You too.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, this is Caroline Williams from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and Sharknado 4. You're listening to Without Your Head.